just how good is the cheapest gaming PC of 2025 if you build it with only new parts. Let's start with CPU and motherboard combo. This is an H510M-B from MSI with an i3-10100F CPU inside. And yes, we could have technically gone for a Celeron, but building a gaming PC with a dual-core processor in 2025 would be a bit of a crime. We wanna actually game on this PC after all. As for the RAM, I went for 16 gigs since 8 would be not enough, and going for 32 would defeat the purpose of building the cheapest gaming PC. By the way, we'll be cooling our CPU with this basic stock looking cooler that I found in a local store. We're gonna power this system with the DeepCool DE600. I honestly could have gone with something even cheaper, like an office power supply or something, but I'm building this system for a customer and I want it to last as long as possible. Plus I'm giving a 2-year warranty on it, so it's only fair to use at least a semi-decent power supply for this system. I'll be going for a 512GB Sata SSD for this storage. People say that M.2 SSDs are quite cheap right now, but for me the cheapest M.2 NVMe SSD that I found was at least $8 more, which again would defeat the purpose of us building the cheapest gaming PC. Speaking of which, nothing screams gaming more than RGB, which is why I went for this case with 4 pre-installed RGB fans instead of some basic one. We all know that looks don't really affect the actual performance, but we all want our PC to be satisfying to look at. Besides, this particular case only set me back by $35, with fans included by the way, so I really think that it was worth the price. And of course our star of this show, RTX 3050, the 6GB one. And I know it's not the type of GPU that people usually boast about, but it is the cheapest brand new GPU that is still available right now in 2025. And with that, our build is complete. Here's the summary of the price. Now, depending on where you live and whether or not you have to pay tax on top, this whole build might cost you somewhere around $400. But I bet you guys wanna know how this PC performs in popular games, and is it even worth building a brand new gaming PC for $400 US? Let's begin with something simple. GTA 5 Enhanced. We are gonna be testing this game on very high preset at 1080p resolution, and right off the bat I can already say that the game is running real smooth. Yes, it's a remastered version of an old game, but people still play it to this day, especially in my country, because whenever I build a gaming PC for a customer, around 90% of the people still keep asking the same question: will I be able to play GTA 5 on it? Hence why I wanted to test this game first on this PC. I tried going to crowded areas and stuff just to see how low the FPS would drop, but it stayed well over 60 at all times. In the end, we averaged around 77 FPS. Counter-Strike 2. We'll be testing this game on very high settings as well. Now generally, people like to play FPS games on lower settings, but this PC isn't necessarily built for that purpose. I build various types of PCs, and the thing that we're trying to achieve with this particular build is that we wanna be able to play AAA and just popular games in general on as high settings as possible, which I think this PC is achieving quite well so far. Let's move on to something a bit more demanding, Red Dead Redemption 2. Here I went with balanced preset. Not the highest settings, but it's a good middle ground between having good graphics and consistent 60+ FPS. I didn't see a single stutter in this built-in benchmark, and the gameplay was smooth from start to finish. In the end, we averaged around 68 FPS. Cyberpunk 2077. Now, unlike the other games that we've tested so far, this is the most demanding of them all, especially on this CPU. There are many ways to compensate for the lack of graphical power, plus we're not even fully utilizing the GPU here. But if this CPU is already at its limit, we really can't do much more. You could probably mess with some settings that shift the stress from the CPU over to the GPU, but you'll most likely be playing this game on low settings. As such, the game seems to be running quite smooth. We're getting a solid 60 to 90 FPS depending on where we are. So considering that we're mainly being limited by the CPU here, the FPS is gonna be lower in crowded areas, but high on highways or closed areas with not a lot of people. Hogwarts Legacy. Pretty much the same deal as in Cyberpunk, except that the game is a bit less demanding on the CPU. I went with the lowest settings here as well. No DLSS obviously, the system is quite balanced, and even if we use DLSS in any of these games, I really doubt that we would get that much more FPS. Anyhow, in cities the FPS was hovering around mid-60s, but outside it even went as high as 90. Overall, we averaged around 72 FPS. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Now, unlike all the other games that we've tested till now, this one is a lot more modern and a lot more demanding than the rest. While the GPU itself might be able to deliver 60 plus FPS with DLSS unbalanced, we still can't make up for the lack of computing power. Yes, the game is stable and it runs well enough to play through the campaign, but if you wanna play PvP or just competitive PvE instead, you might wanna get yourself a bit better hardware, both CPU and GPU included. Either way, after spending about 5 to 10 minutes in this mission, we achieved around 51 FPS on average with heavy dips into low 40s. Not the best experience, but it was kinda playable. That is all in terms of benchmarks. And now I wanna give you guys some updates. As some of you guys might already know, I deal with multiple businesses from day-to-day basis, building and selling computers being one of them, and as the business grows, so does the demand on the product. I've been an indie system integrator for many years now. I don't sell internationally, but the demand is still high. It's been exceptionally high in the past few months. Hence why I've been making so few videos lately. Everyone and everything needs a lot of attention, and I can only do so much as a single person. Not that I hate it or something, in fact I've been dedicating my whole life to be in this position, but it still makes me kinda sad that I cannot make as many videos for you guys. I will continue making videos no matter what. It is what I love and it is what I will do, as well as many other things. But I just wanna let you guys know that I am extremely busy right now. I might not be able to find enough time to record long voiceovers like the way I'm doing right now, but for the time being, I have a lot of footage that I wanna edit cause I've built way too many PCs and I wanna show all of that to you. So I will have to switch to shorter voiceovers with more gaming montage. But whenever I do find enough time, I will switch back to good old voiceovers and slowly start adding some IRL footage. But for now, this is all I have to offer. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.